So hi guys and welcome to Saigon Central Post Office today. So we are the number 2 as Paris Gambit Street in District 1 of Ho Chi Minh City. So I came from having a travel company. My name is Thanh and you can call me Miss Jasmine. So before we have an interesting tour today, one more thing. My name is Thanh and my phone number is 0123456798. And let you call me or directly ask me if you have any emergency or questions during our tour today. So one more thing, you can see the crowd here, the people so much, so you have to follow me all the time. So are you ready to go with me? Let's explore the most iconic buildings and the oldest building in Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon Central Post Office. Okay, so guys, before we going to explore the Saigon Central Post Office interior, let me tell you some information about history of this building first. So in 1864, the star stamp were the first stamp to appear in Vietnam, appearing in Saigon to all over the world. And the Central Post Office was built around 1886 to 1891. And based on Virgil's design with his assistant for Hall. And Virgil's, maybe you have number 4, he is famous for Eiffel Tower and Statue of Liberty. And in last year, in 1891, the new Central Post Office was officially inaugurated. This place recorded the imprint of Vietnamese and French cultures, and is recorded also the historical ups and downs of our country as well. And with the unique, sophisticated and charming colonial architecture, yes, you can see that. The Saigon Central Post Office is only the place for the communication and correspondence, but it right now gradually becomes one of the hottest places in Saigon, where young people come to check in and take photos. And nowadays, the Central Saigon Post Office is considered as the most magnificent places in Ho Chi Minh City. Okay, so guys, to explore the Saigon Central Post Office, firstly, you have to look at the modern monuments. They are in front of the door of the Saigon Central Post Office. So these are 2 modern monuments of the post office were built to celebrate 300 years anniversary of this city, Ho Chi Minh City. So Saigon Central Post Office possesses many architectural features which make it splendid among the beautiful buildings in Saigon at the time of Indochina. Okay, so guys, right now let's move on to the part of exploring the architecture of this building, Saigon Central Post Office. So firstly, I have to mention about the shape of the buildings. So you can see that normally people in Vietnamese, they build their houses with the rectangle or square shape, but this building is special. The building was built with a T shape with one horizontal raft facing out and one horizontal raft facing inward. And the contour lines and patterns running horizontally create strong and contrasting lines and reminds me of the train station in Europe in the past. And right now, look at the building and the main door. Take the clock at the main axis. You can see the both sides, left and the right hand side, have many edges. And above the edges are the decorative patterns on the roof. They were inspired by Khmer temple art, and this feature shows the blends of Asian and European cultures. Okay, guys. So right now, let's move on to above the edges. So you can see a lot of famous names that's curved on that. For example, you can see the U.S. President Benjamin Franklin, and also Italian Alessandro Volta. And in my left hand side, you see the famous French mathematician. He is Gavini, and also the British physicist Michael Faraday, and many other famous names. And look at the pillars on the second floor. You can see many gods in Greek mythology, such as Poseidon. You can call him Neptune, and he is the god of fresh water and the sea. And besides Nile, she is the goddess of victory and speed. And so you can see that the Saigon Central Post Office follows the typical arch design with the large clock in the middle, and above is the person wearing laurel wreath with the words "The Ho Chi Minh City Post Office." And below is the year of construction and inauguration. As I mentioned for you before, is 1886 to 1891 is the years of construction of this post office. Okay, so guys, without any further ado, let's follow me to explore the most iconic building, Saigon Central Post Office, with me. Moving inside the interior of Saigon Central Post Office, you may see the very high vaulted ceiling of this building, and which allows the hot air to as easily escape and keep this place airy all year round. And with open space, and this by having a lot of glass doors, the Saigon Central Post Office still very cool all year round. And about the decorations, instead of decorated by the plaster, the Saigon Central Post Office is special for the iron pillars and a lot of sophisticated iron reliefs. And right now, look at the end of a central hall. You can see the portrait of our beloved Ho Chi Minh president, and you can see this portrait in many other government buildings in our country. And hanging out the portrait of our president Ho Chi Minh is a way of our residents to memorize us about what Ho Chi Minh did for our country in the past, and his reminds us about what he did for our country and his impact on our future and also present. So you can look at the activities around the surroundings of the Saigon Central Post Office. It's not only the place for tourists come to travel, but also they also operate the post office for the communication services. So you can come there to ask for the traditional and also modern communication services. So you can send the postcards and letters for your families and relatives and friends in your hometown. And I think it's an interesting way to keep the memories in our modern times. So guys, right now let's take a look at the left and the right hand side of mine. You can see the small staircases leading to the souvenir shops. So you can come there to see some postcards and souvenir goods, and there are many beautiful sites of our country, Vietnam, that's printed on those postcards and stamps. Okay, so you can come there to buy the postcard and exquisite arrays of artistic handmade postcard and stamps. And moreover, we also have the rounded table there. They also sell their postcard and stamp provided for the mailing services. Okay, so guys, right now I lead you to see the maps attached on the wall of the Saigon Central Post Office. So in my right hand side and the left hand side as well. So firstly, in the left hand side is the map of Saigon and its vicinity. It was drawn by French in 19th century, and this is the most accurate map was drawn by French person, and this is the most accurate map in that time, and it was drawn in 1892, and this hand side, right hand side of mine, is the maps of the telegraph lines of South Vietnam and Cambodia, and it shows the power lines of our South Vietnam and Cambodia in 1936. So below the maps are the clocks, shows the timeline in cities worldwide. For example, in some cities in Africa, Asia, North America, and also Australia, like it's London, Canberra, Paris, California, Washington, and also Beijing, Tokyo, Moscow, and so on as well. Okay, so below the clocks are the booths. So you can see the booths here. The booths here, the Saigon Central Post Office still remains the booth because it has been here for more than a century, where people come there to send the gifts, the flowers, and the postcards, and etc. in at any time. And some booths now are not going, and but you can come there to take photos to keep the memory. Or some booths are now converted to ATM rooms, so you can use that modern services to get the cash instead of going outside. Okay, so because the time is limited, so take your time to explore and travel around this building, Central Post Office. So we will meet here after 15 minutes. Okay, let's go. And welcome back, my dear tourists. So after the tour today to Saigon Central Post Office, I believe that you have learned about some details and information about this iconic building in Ho Chi Minh City, such as its breathtaking outside and the impressive architecture and also splendid decorations in both outside and inside the building, Saigon Central Post Office. And I believe that our tour today will leave you some unforgettable memory about this extraordinary Saigon Central Post Office. Okay, so once again, my name is Thanh and come from Havana Travel Company. So thank you for your coming, and we always welcome you at any time. So I hope to see you soon. Goodbye!